Hello everyone, welcome to the newest edition, to the next episode even, of the Wrestling Matters podcast. My name is Anthony Walker. Today's show is going to be Raw, SmackDown, TNA as usual. I'm going to tell you a few things to look forward to in the future, knock on wood, and we're going to have some fun today. But first of all, there's a few things I want to talk about as well before I get into my first thing that I want to discuss. About Brock Lesnar's interview on WWE.com. I want to talk about Brock Lesnar, but I'll do that later on. Guys, if you haven't heard of them or you haven't seen them, check out ICW Insane Championship Wrestling. It is a promotion, a British wrestling promotion based in Scotland. Holy shit, are these guys great, for real, man. They have like professional wrestling, maybe blended in with a bit of sports entertainment, and trust me, they know how to do sports entertainment, unlike some other companies. And they have a bit of hardcore wrestling too. All that blended into one, and you've got ICW. They've been all over the place. They've been to Newcastle, Liverpool. They're based in Scotland. I think Glasgow, I think it is. I might be wrong, but they're based in Scotland nonetheless. It's just so... I've been watching a few of their shows on YouTube and a few of their stuff on YouTube. It's just phenomenal to watch, man. I mean, I'll put the link in the description on YouTube and the link in the description on Podomatic as well. There'll be links in there to the ICW stuff and everything. If you haven't checked them out, go and do so. I mean, these guys are insane, hence the title, Insane Championship Wrestling, but fucking awesome. I think you could probably say, at least I would probably say, that these guys are probably the British answer to ECW. You know, I would probably say that. I mean, America had ECW back in the day, Extreme Championship Wrestling, you know, and all that. The British wrestling has its own ECW, and in my opinion, I think it's ICW. It's just so like as well, and anything can happen in ICW. Particularly one thing. There's a guy, I'm pretty sure if you've watched Wrestle Talk Television, WTTV, in England or in America, if you see it on YouTube and that, you will probably see a guy on there that has been on their guest hosts and talked and everything, called Grado. Apparently he's John Cena's biggest fan. That's what WTTV had him down as. Yeah, he comes on and he comes out. He's like Colt Cabana. He's got a Colt Cabana style about him, and he comes out dancing and starts dancing. He's a good wrestler too. He's actually a good wrestler. He's like an underdog. Probably is an underdog. And he comes out to his music entrance, Madonna, Like a Prayer. Now, if you guys had told me... I mean, I've been watching wrestling and been involved in wrestling. I've been watching wrestling a long time. If you would have told me back in the day that a Madonna song would get over in wrestling, I'd have called you a fucking idiot. Whether it was an entrance or whatever. If you would have told me that a Madonna song would get over in wrestling, seriously, I'd have called you a fucking idiot, or you'd have been out of your fucking mind. Seriously. I mean, he comes out to Like a Prayer, and when his music hits, you hear this, life is a mystery, and sometimes the lights go out and the crowd even get into it. They even start singing it like you don't know if it was like, I suppose I can compare it to the Metallica into Sandman, what Sandman used to do. Jim Fullington used to come out when they used to sing that song and everything. It's kind of like that, but it's Madonna. It's just incredible. If you haven't seen it, go and find them on YouTube. Type in ICW. I'll leave the links in the description on YouTube and Podomatic. If you read the description, the links will be in there and everything. Go and check them out and see for yourself. It is unbelievable. And it blows my mind that a Madonna song can actually get over in wrestling. I mean, not a knock on Madonna or anything, but to any Madonna fans out there, but wrestling theme songs in the past, have been like Metallica, Alice in Chains, Nirvana, Seether, and Disturbed, and all these other type bands and everything, music like that. Not once have I seen a Madonna song get over in wrestling until now, and only in ICW can that happen as well. And if you haven't seen it, I believe it will be on the BBC on the BBC website, on iPlayer, I'm guessing, or something. Or check out the iPlayers if you can. The catch-up stuff on there. Check out the Insane Fight Club, because the Insane Fight Club documentary that was on BBC Three it aired September 10th. It did a profile, if you will, if you can call it that, on ICW. So if you haven't seen it, go to the BBC website and check it out. It'll be on the iPlayer, or type it in, or if you can't find it, wherever you can find it. And if you can find it and you can watch it, give it a good watch, because Mark Dallas, it talks about Mark Dallas. It's a behind the scenes look with Mark Dallas and everything, how he started this whole this phenomenon that is ICW. And seriously, man, just check it out. It's just unbelievable, and I give a thumbs up to ICW, man, because that's how wrestling should be. be honest. You know, this PG stuff, you know, attending to kids, I get that. It's all about business, you know, it's all about making money, making profit, selling merchandise and that. But, you know, if it's wrong to have a company that caters to fans 18 plus, you know, 18 and over, you know, and want to go there and just have a good time and raise hell and use colourful language and do whatever the fuck they do. You know, if that's wrong, then fuck being right, man. I mean, mad props to ICW, mad props to the Insane Championship Wrestling, and mad props to Mark Dallas, and, you know, keep doing what you're doing, keep up the good work. If the censors don't like you, you can tell them to go to fucking hell. You know, fuck the censors and everything, just keep doing what you're doing, and keep using that YouTube page as well, man, because I'm enjoying the stuff that I'm seeing, for real, man. I mean, mad props to ICW for their work. Monday Night Raw's main points, ladies and gentlemen. It's time. You know what time it is. I'm going to start off with John Cena confronting Paul Heyman. Deal is this. John Cena wants a piece of Brock Lesnar, and if he doesn't get it, Paul Heyman is the one who will pay the price. The C Nation leader conveyed as much during Heyman's final massive speech, if you can call it that, before Night of Champions, threatening the WWE World Heavyweight Champion's advocate with a severe bodily harm should Conqueror get cold feet. He even gave Lesnar a time frame to emerge from his lair, so to speak. He had until half-time or halfway through the show. The clock is on. Making a statement, John Cena. I want Lesnar. If I don't get Lesnar, I guess you'll have to do him. Chris Jericho and Kane. He didn't even need coffee this time around. In the latest installment of the in-ring rivalry that extends back to the Attitude Era, Chris Jericho battled and defeated Kane 6 days before stepping in the ring with the Director of Operations, fellow Authority member Randy Orton, demonstrating that the same savvy and landed my corner at the WWE HQ. Kane made it a point to target the knee Jericho tweaked against Bray Wyatt the previous week that left the Ayatollah of Rock and Roller vulnerable to the offense attack that split his chin open. Once Jericho did get his legs up under him, literally, he took control and never let go, beginning with a dropkick that took the airborne Kane directly out of the sky. Y2J shifted into third counter, ring 2 choke slams and a tombstone power-driver before sending Kane face first into the turnbuckle. The corporate demon exposed early on in the match. 1 roll-up, beat him 1, 2, 3 for Jericho to get the win. Question is, will he do that against Randy Orton? If you've seen my video on YouTube, I'll put the link in the description. You will know my predictions for Night of Champions. It is rare that Brock Lesnar breaks his code and fights for free. When he does, he really goes for it. John Cena poked the beast incarnate with a string of 1,000 insults, even going so far as to threaten Paul Heyman with a beating should Lesnar refuse to answer his call. Heyman yet again attempted to goad Cena into abandoning his principles for an outright beating, just as he did the previous week. Cena refused to give in to the whims of the one behind the 1 in 21 until Heyman took things one step too far and caught a shove for his troubles. Right on cue, the Beast entered and took the fight to his number 1 contender. He was met in such a brutal fashion by Cena that WWE security was summoned to separate him, or separate the two. It was really ridiculous. They should have just let him go. I mean, they don't do it with Lesnar, so they do it when Cena does something. Pathetic. So much for brains over brawn. The self-described creator of the Shield got a taste of its resistance when Seth Rollins went head-to-head with Roman Reigns for the first time ever on Raw. And for the superstar who's supposedly familiar with everything Reigns was capable of, Rollins was surprisingly cavalier when it came to his game plan against the man who has become one of WWE's fastest rising superstars. Rollins did get his licks in here and there. An early strike to the face left the big dog with a bloody nose. The Arius wisely dodged his former tag team partner's leaping dropkick on the apron and the spear following the latter up with a super kick to Range's chin. Rollins' offense continued apace for several minutes. An overly ambitious attempt at a curb stomp to the still standing Roman provided his decisive mistake when Reigns took off, bounced off the ropes, and dropped Rollins with a spear for the 1, 2, 3. Now for the main event, the main event spot on the show, which quite frankly was a little bit surprising to me, but Hey, it happened. If you're going to rally America, it helps to have the world's strongest man as your champion. Few men qualified to lead their homeland as Mark Henry, a former Olympian whose fades speak for themselves and whose passion for his country knows no bounds. Henry wasn't about to get through his rally for America without an interruption from Lana and Rusev. Though Henry attempted to counter by leading the Pledge of Allegiance, with the super athletes responded with punishment, yet Rusev severely underestimated whom he was dealing with. Henry refused to be crushed and powered his way out of Rusev's finishing move before sending Rusev tumbling from the ring. Indeed, that's what he does. Question is, can he do it at Night of Champions? I guess you'll have to find out that for yourselves. As this goes out on Raw, Monday rather, you would probably have seen Night of Champions. If you haven't seen it, go and find the replays. TNA's main points, No Surrender was on this week, and obviously I'm going to talk about the championship series, the tag title series. The Wolves forego their entrance and storm to the ring. Jeff and Bully found themselves outside the ring one-on-one, while Matt and Devon found themselves on the other. The Wolves fly with two different suicide dives taken out off of their opponents. The Wolves ram a ladder into any one of their challengers, but Jeff Hardy flies from the top turnbuckle and connects with the ladder to take out the Wolves. The Hardys take control of the ladder and assault the Wolves. Bully Ray spins with his head in the ladder, dropping all bodies, and connects with Matt Hardy. Storms the ring with another ladder as Devon calls for tables. The Hardys gain control and Matt Hardy begins to climb. His fingers touch one of the tag team championship belts, but Eddie Edwards makes the save. Devon tips the ladder and Matt and Eddie get hung on the top rope. Then Jeff Hardy smashes another ladder into Devon's face. Bully Ray shifts the momentum when he powerbombs Jeff Hardy onto the ladder. The ladder folds and bent and flies into the face of Eddie Edwards and Matt Hardy. Bully Ray begins to climb one of the ladders, but the Wolves powerbomb Bully Ray from the ladder. Two ladders stand side by side, and the Wolves, Matt Hardy, Devon climb to the top as Davey Richards and Devon headbutt one another and fall backwards. Matt Hardy delivers a twist of fate from the ladder on Eddie Edwards. Jeff Hardy begins his ascent on a different ladder, but Bully Ray counters with a suplex from the top of the ladder. Team 3D double teams Eddie Edwards. Then the Hardys score a double twist of fate. Jeff flies with a swanton as Matt Hardy connects with a moonsault. The Hardys start to climb two ladders, but the Wolves again make the save. Jeff and Matt launch Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards onto the ladders. Matt Hardy puts a ladder on the second rope and slams Richards onto it. He lifts the ladder and Jeff connects with a splash from the top. Team 3D attacks the Hardys with a table, and the Wolves attack Team 3D with the chairs. The crowd chants TLC, TLC as Davey Richards sends Matt Hardy crashing through a table. In the ring, Jeff Hardy and Eddie Edwards climb the ladder. They engage briefly, but Davey Richards tips Jeff Hardy from the ladder and Jeff crashes hard onto the edge of the ladder as it falls. Eddie Edwards climbs to the top of the ladder and the Wolves win the match. So everybody is one apiece in the match. What's going to happen next? I suppose tune into this week's Impact. And the main event, the World Heavyweight Championship match. The It Factor Bobby Roode makes his way to the ring on his quest to regain the championship from Bobby Lashley. With MVP in tow and Kenny King, the champion Destroyer enters the Impact Zone. The bell sounds, the crowd erupts, let's go Roode. Roode is on the offense immediately, but a strong shoulder block from the champion sends the challenger to the corner to regroup. Lashley overpowers Roode continually, but Roode uses Lashley's aggression to his advantage. Roode counters a charge from Lashley, sending the champion over the top rope. An infuriated Lashley charges Roode, who again sends Lashley over the top rope again. Lashley takes a moment beside the ring to regroup with Kenny King and MVP. Kenny King attempts a distraction to no avail. Roode climbs to the turnbuckle, but MVP grabs his foot, and the referee Brian Hebner catches the interference. Hebner ejects MVP from ringside. In the ring, Roode catches Lashley with a powerful clothesline and attempts a DDT. The champion power out, sending Roode flying through the air. Lashley attempts a spear as Roode rises to his feet, but Roode counters and locks a crossface. Kenny King breaks the hold. Eric Young rushes down to ringside and fights Kenny King to the back. Rude locks another crossface, but Lashley stands and powers out. As Rude rises, a spear connects. Lashley covers just before 3. Rude kicks out. Lashley retrieves his title. He swings and misses, allowing Rude to nail a Rude bomb. The count, but Lashley kicks out. Champion and challenger trade blows in the center of the ring. Lashley takes the advantage with a kick to the gut, but as he comes off the top rope, Rude counters with a spinebuster. Lashley catches Rude with running power slam. He makes the cover, but Rude is out at 2. Lashley attempts a torture rack. Rude escapes. Rude hoists Lashley onto his shoulders for another Rude bomb, but Lashley grabs the top rope, preventing Rude from executing his finisher. Instead of pulling, Rude instead opts to power Lashley to the arena floor with a huge Rude bomb. Rude gets Lashley back into the ring and climbs the turnbuckle. Somehow Lashley manages to throw Rude from the top rope and tries for a spear. Rude reverses twice, but his leg gives out while attempting a third Rude bomb, and Lashley catches him with a spear to retain the title. What's going to happen this week on Impact? I guess you better find out. Tune in this Wednesday to find out. But one thing's for sure, Impact Wrestling is getting very, very good. Question is, will they be around after October? Because we all know what's going to happen. We're not far off entering the month of October, and we all know Spike is going to drop them from their network. What is TNA's future? Guess we'll find out in the upcoming weeks. SmackDown's main points, I have to pick out a few because there wasn't that much. I mean, there's never anything much on SmackDown. Probably, in my opinion, one of my favourite parts of the show involved Adam Rose. And no, it wasn't Adam Rose's wrestling, even though he's the creepiest bastard on the roster. What was my favourite part was a bunny. Slater's bunny problem just keeps going and going. After Titus O'Neil tripped up Adam Rose at ringside, the partying superstar's giant bunny hopped across the ring, flinging itself onto the Real Deal. He did dropped off the rope and he did a dive over the rope onto the Real Deal, Titus O'Neil. Heath Slater, understandably stunned by what he just witnessed, turned around and was greeted by the party foul from Adam Rose for Adam Rose to get the win. Now, just to bring something up, I've heard a lot of rumours and heard a lot of talk that this is Prince Devitt, one of the new guys who's just joined WWE. I don't know if that's true or not, and quite frankly, I don't really care, but who'd ever thought bunnies could fly, yeah? But it was awesome. It was awesome to see. 1 minute he takes Heath Slater down on Raw, the next minute he's flying over a top rope onto Titus O'Neil. Be interesting to see what's next of this bunny. Los Matadores and The Big Show were all smiles before their match against the Wyatt family, but the mood quickly changed once the contest got underway. Now, my favourite part of this match was Big Show playing the part of El Torito, even though El Torito came out after him. But for a minute, people probably suddenly thought that El Torito had grown very big. But it was funny. I actually thought it was funny in a way. But yeah, good match. As Luke Harper and Eric Rowan battled with Fernando and the Big Show outside the ring, Diego tried to avoid Wyatt's fearsome attack, but between the ropes, unfortunately for the spirited Matador, his fast-paced attack led him straight into the arms of Sister Abigail. That's what it takes, just one mistake and Mr. Wyatt will punish you. People should know that by now, at least. Roman Reigns seemed to be on the verge of overcoming Rusev's power and assault before Seth Rollins arrived to cut off the black-clad superstar's comeback. Mr. Money in the Bank plan backfired, however, as he ended up inadvertently nailing the super athlete with the briefcase, resulting in a disqualification victory for the hero of the Russian Federation. Reigns and his former Shield brother continued to battle outside the ring as the powerhouse chased his Night of Champions opponent through the WWE Universe. Back inside the squared circle, Mark Henry interrupted Lana and Rusev's post-match celebration as Old Glory herself rained down from the rafters. The sight of the American flag sent Rusev into a rage as he attacked the World's Strongest Man before running into quite possibly the most patriotic World's Strongest Slam. Where did I get pathetic from? World's Strongest Slam we've ever seen. Even unbelievable. And looks like Mark Henry has an advantage in that respect. It'd be interesting to see what happens next. Right, I'm going to shut a promo on, a quick advert, and then I'm going to go to talking about Brock Lesnar's interview and Brock Lesnar himself, as well as telling you to listen out for the Wrestling Matters podcast and upcoming episodes, because I have an interview lined up that I'm going to bring you, all being well. So if you want to know what that's all about, stay tuned after this promo and I'll tell you. So see you in a bit.
Well, enough is enough, and it's time for a change. Are you ready?
It is Sunday, and you're listening to the Sunday Segue Wrestling Podcast.
Give me a hell yeah! Get some love! Ooh, yeah!
With Kenny Killer.
Hey, yo! We're in the big D tonight, baby, and we are live! Woo!
I'm the Goddamn Sugar Should.
The best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be! Cause that's the bottom line! Stone Cold Simpson.
What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Anthony Walker, the host of the Wrestling Matters podcast, and you can now check out the Wrestling Matters podcast on youtube.com/HAW Wrestling Matters. You can now go to Podomatic.com, iTunes, and now also you can go to a new one. That's right, a new site, Stitcher Radio. That's right, we're on Stitcher Radio right now. I'm on Stitcher Radio right now, and you could be too. Get yourself on there, download their app, the Stitcher Radio app, or the Stitcher app, whatever it is. Make sure you download their app, and you can listen to it on your phone anywhere you want, at any time you want, at any place you. That's the Wrestling Matters podcast now on YouTube, iTunes, Podomatic, and Stitcher Radio. Wrestling Matters, wrestling fans. Oh, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Wrestling Matters podcast. Now, before I get on to what I was going to do, I just want to reveal something. Tune into this Wednesday's Impact, because a Toughest Man tournament will take place on Impact this week. It's the start of a Toughest Man tournament. This is the brainchild of the executive director, Kurt Angle. I don't know what the heck's it going to be. It's kind of like a New York City Gold Rush tournament or something. I don't know. Last man standing at the end of it will earn a championship match against the TNA champion at any time. So it should be pretty huge. The people that have been announced to take part in it have our MVP, Austin Aries, Magnus, Robbie E, and Abyss. And their opponents will be revealed today. So go to check ImpactWrestling.com to find out their opponents, or the news bulletins or whatever you can find them. Because their opponents are revealed today. This goes out Monday, and their opponents are revealed today. So check that out. Yeah, I just wanted to bring that to your attention. That'll be interesting to see, though. Toughest Man tournament. I wonder if it's like a one-night tournament kind of thing. We'll have to wait and see. Tune into Impact this week to find out what that's all about.
In anybody else's hands, this is a microphone. In my hands, it's a pipe bomb.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is time once again for a pipe bomb. Now, this pipe bomb is directed towards Brock Lesnar and directed at what I saw this week by Brock Lesnar. I'm going to play the audio of what took place this week. You know the WWE.com interviews that usually take place with Michael Cole? Well, he had to interview Brock Lesnar this week. So I'll play full interview in case you haven't seen it, the audio. In case you haven't seen it, at least I hope I'll be able to play it and everything and see where it goes from there. And yeah, well, you can take it from there and see where it goes. Here's the audio interview.
Welcome to this week's WWE.com interview. I have a very special guest for the first time ever in this forum, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion, Brock Lesnar. Welcome. Brock, Sunday at Night of Champions on the WWE Network. One of the most anticipated rematches in the history of WWE, you versus John Cena. I want to start by going back to SummerSlam, the night you won the championship. It's been called the most dominating performance in the history of any main event in WWE. Did you expect your victory over John Cena to be that easy?
Well, I think we can go back farther than that, to my victory over The Undertaker. It's plain and simple for this, and I could keep saying, and it's like a broken record all the time, but I came back to this company for one reason and one reason only, and that was to be at the top, to be the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Everything that's been put in front of me, I think I've accomplished.
It's funny you mentioned The Undertaker, because when you took on The Undertaker at WrestleMania, you were the hunter. When you took on John Cena at SummerSlam, you were the hunter. This time around, this Sunday at Night of Champions, you're the hunted. Does that change your strategy at all?
Not at all. I don't come into any fight with any other mindset than to just kick ass. That's all my job is. It's plain and simple. I got the best job in the world. Eat, sleep, kick ass, repeat. That's what I do. And I happen to enjoy it, and I'm happy to be very good at it. I'm not here to play off anybody else's emotions. I'm not here to play off of what other people think. Brock Lesnar is the face of this company. I don't know when people are actually going to get it through their head.
John Cena, I believe, still thinks that he is the face of WWE, and over the past number of weeks in SummerSlam, he has been trying to prove to the entire world and to himself that he can beat you and that he's ready for you at Night of Champions.
I'm not a man of many words, all right? That's why I have a guy that does all my talking for me. Now, John Cena, on the other hand, can talk all he wants to about what he's going to do. Kudos to John. Kudos to John Cena. He's been at the company for a long time. He's talked the talk and he's walked the walk, but he's finally faced a man that neither of them works. I don't really care what kind of John Cena shows up on Sunday. I really don't. It's not going to change my game plan at all. Not one bit.
Is your game plan going to change at all after what transpired on Raw this past Monday night? Cena wanted a fight. You gave him one. Cena was passionate. He was emotional. He seemed ready to go. Is this a different John Cena? Did you feel a different John Cena Monday night than you saw at SummerSlam?
I can't answer that. I'm not out there to feel another man's emotion. I mean, that's ridiculous. I come from a fight background. I come from an amateur background, mano a mano, and the last thing I'm thinking about is another man's emotions. So no, I don't, like I said, on Sunday at Night of Champions, I don't care what John Cena shows up, whoever he is, whoever he wants to be at Night of Champions, I really don't care. I'm a prize fighter, all right? I come to Monday Night Raw to promote fights, all right? That's my job. I showed up on Monday night to promote Night of Champions. And it just so happens that John Cena is all fired up about this match on Sunday. And so am I. It's plain and simple. On Sunday, John Cena is going to get another ass beating.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, as you clearly saw, or clearly heard there, Brock Lesnar, that was the interview, the full interview. It wasn't a long interview. It wasn't the longest interview, because, like he said there, he was a man of few words. But what gets me about this is, right, what truly gets me about this is how people can say that Brock is not good on the mic, or not a good talker, if you will. You know, he's not the best, you know, the best talker in the world, so to speak, on the mic. And clearly he's not on occasions, yeah. But when he gets that talking and does the promos like that, they can be controversial. They can be, you know, not the best you've heard in the world, so to speak. But, you know, they could be great. He does good promos, in my opinion. All right, they're not the longest promos or the best promos, but he does great promos and he's great on the mic. What I don't get is how people can piss all over him and say he's not good and a good talker, because some of his stuff is controversial. I mean, going back to when he first came back into WWE and he did a promo on John Cena saying he's got piss running down his leg and so forth. That's a good promo to me. And I just don't understand why people get on Brock saying he's not good on the mic, and that's why he always has Heyman. To a point, that is true, because let's face it, Brock Lesnar, Paul Heyman on the mic, Paul Heyman's 10 times better. I get that, no doubt about that. But I just don't get that in a way, how people can piss all over him on that and say that he's not good. I just don't get it. But when Brock talks, people listen. That's what it's come to. People listen. People take notice. They always show the interview no matter what, or show what they can of the interview. When Brock talks, people listen. That's the key to all of this. And certainly when Brock talks, I listen. And he is the beast incarnate. He is the animal of the WWE. Sorry, Batista. Well, I'm not sorry, because it's true. And, I just don't get why. It makes no sense why people get on Brock, because, like he said, he's a man of few words, but he can talk and cut good promos. No question about that. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to enclose this episode of the podcast with a few things I want to talk about first, and then I'm going to tell you what to look forward to in the upcoming episodes, all being well, and we'll just take it from there. Right, apparently The Undertaker is in bad shape. Okay, several readers have sent word that at last night's Limp Bizkit show in San Antonio, Fred Durst mentioned to the live audience that The Undertaker wasn't doing really well. The next song goes out to our friend Mark Calloway, The Undertaker. He's not doing really well right now, and we want all our fans to keep him in their thoughts and prayers. The band went on to play Rollin', the air raid version, which was The Undertaker's theme music, as a tribute, when he was the American badass, the biker guy. So it seems Taker's not doing that well, to be honest. So if that's the case, then get well, Undertaker. Get well, dead man, if that's the case. There are indications within WWE that some of the top NXT stars, Kenta, Hideo Itami, which is Kenta's new name, Fregel Devitt, which is Prince Devitt, I think, and Kevin Steen, may be brought up to the main roster sooner than later. It was said that it's just a matter of time before we see Sami Zayn and the NXT champion, Adrian Neville, on the main roster regularly. Just true. True. Right, that's about it for this episode of the podcast, ladies and gentlemen. But before I go, I'm going to tell you what I've got lined up. I have some names of wrestlers lined up for interviews on the show, and maybe a guest appearances on the shows as well, which is going to be excellent. Right, and the first one I've got lined up, hopefully, knock on wood, all being well, is a lady wrestler, diva, whatever you want to call her, called Jezebeth. So make sure you check that out in the near future. It's coming up this week. Hopefully we can get a recording done on Saturday 27th of September or Sunday the 28th of September, but we'll have to wait and see on that. Hopefully all will go well. Hopefully everything will go down. But I'm looking forward to getting that to happen, and it's going to be interesting to talk to her as well. So we'll just have to wait and see on that. And hopefully I've got other wrestlers as well lined up. Prince Amin, British wrestler. If you haven't heard of him, I suggest you go and look him up on YouTube. Mark Anthony and Adam Christ, from what Mark Anthony tells me, coming on the show as well to talk MPW and that. So hopefully we can get that done and get all the promotions and get everything sorted out for MPW. Make sure you check out MPW's edition of the podcast as well that I did from April 11th at Pennywell Comrades. They'll be back at Pennywell October 31st, so for all the information, go to their YouTube the YouTube pages and everything. All the links will be in the description under that episode. Make sure you check that episode out. I'll put the link in the description so you can listen to it if you're watching this on YouTube or even Podomatic. And I hope you've enjoyed this edition of the podcast. Thank you so much for your support as always. Make sure you tune in every Tuesday between 5:30 and 6 o'clock to the CVFM Wrestling Revolution podcast, hosted by yours truly, only on CVFM Radio 104.5 FM or cvfm.org.uk, whatever you prefer. And until episode 26, ladies and gentlemen, my name is Anthony Walker, the H, that E to the A to the D. Until next time, goodbye everyone.